Okay, so picture this. You're just chilling online, checking your bank account, typical Tuesday.
Right.
But while you're doing that, there's this kind of silent revolution brewing in the background.
Uh-huh.
Quantum computers, they're getting closer and closer to cracking the codes that, protect our entire digital world.
Yeah, it's a little scary when you think about it that way.
It is. It's like a ticking time bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to dig into today, the research that's trying to, defuse that bomb.
Sounds like a plan.
So we're diving deep today into this article from the National Center for Supercomputing Applications, the NCSA.
Okay.
It was just published, just the other day, November 10th.
Fresh off the press.
It's called Quantum Computing Threatens Cybersecurity. Are we prepared?
So,
yeah, big question.
yeah, big question. Buckle up.
Definitely.
So before we jump into the whole threat and everything, what even is quantum computing?
Right.
I mean, I hear quantum and I'm like, whoa, I don't even...
It's one of those buzzwords, right?
Yeah.
It's super intimidating. Yeah.
But the idea is actually pretty straightforward. At its core,
Okay.
quantum computing uses, this weird world of quantum mechanics to solve problems
Right.
that regular computers, even supercomputers, they just choke on those problems.
Okay, so regular computers use bits,
Yep,
the zeros and ones.
exactly.
Quantum computers use, what are they, qubits?
Qubits, you got it.
Okay.
And that's where all the magic happens.
Okay.
So think of it like this. Imagine a coin that could be heads, tails, or both at the same time,
Whoa, okay.
right? That's kind of what a qubit can do.
Yeah.
It's called superposition.
Yeah.
It's this ability to be in multiple states at once, and that's what gives quantum computers this crazy calculation speed.
Okay, so it's like this super brain that can explore, tons of different possibilities at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But how does that, threaten my online banking?
Okay, so think about this. Right now, everything you do online,
Mm-hmm.
buying stuff, sending secret messages, your bank account,
Yeah.
it's all protected by encryption. And that encryption relies on these really complex math problems
Mm-hmm.
that are super hard for normal computers to solve.
Okay.
It's like this incredibly complicated lock. It would take years, maybe centuries to crack.
So our encryption is like Fort Knox for our data.
Exactly.
But quantum computers are the key to breaking in.
That's the worry, yeah. Because they have these super powered qubits.
Right.
Quantum computers could potentially crack those codes
Yeah.
way faster.
Oh, no.
Yeah, imagine someone could suddenly access everyone's bank accounts, medical records,
Yeah.
top secret government data.
That's straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does sound like that, but unfortunately, it is a real threat, yeah. And the article, it's pretty blunt about it.
Yeah.
One of the researchers at NCSA, Fong Cao, they're quoted saying, "The problem is urgent because practical quantum computers will break classical encryption in the next decade."
Whoa, a decade. Okay, that's not a lot of time.
No, not at all.
The clock is ticking.
It is.
So what are we doing about it? The article mentioned this post-quantum cryptography.
Yeah.
What is that?
PQC, it's like the race to build new, stronger locks
Okay.
for our digital world, basically.
Yeah, sure.
New encryption methods that even quantum computers, hopefully, can't crack.
So it's like Fort Knox, but with even thicker walls.
And way more guards.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, so we have the blueprints for these new locks, but why are we still worried?
Right. Well, the article drops this pretty alarming stat. Current PQC adoption rates are extremely low.
Like how low?
We're talking less than 0.03%
Oh.
across the whole internet.
Wow.
It's like we have the plans for this incredible fortress, but we've only built a tiny little section of the wall,
So we have the solution, but we're not using it.
basically.
Why? Is it too complicated, too expensive, or are people just not taking this seriously?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And it's something that these researchers at NCSA, they're digging into that.
Okay.
Their research is really interesting.
Tell me more. What are they working on?
So they're trying to measure those PQC adoption rates. Where do we stand right now?
Okay.
It's kind of like taking inventory of our current defenses.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are using outdated locks? How many have upgraded?
Got it.
And they're developing tools and techniques to help organizations transition to PQC, make it smoother.
Like a quantum cybersecurity for dummies kind of guide?
You could say that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
They're also focusing on protecting these really big supercomputing infrastructures.
Oh, right, because those are probably prime targets, right?
Yeah, they hold so much data.
So where is NCSA even doing all this research? Do they have, some top secret quantum lab?
Actually, no, it's quite the opposite.
All right.
They're using something called the Fabric Testbed.
Okay.
It's this globally connected network of research facilities. So the research has like real-world application, and it helps us understand the challenges of getting everyone to adopt PQC.
So it's like a giant lab that spans the whole globe.
You could say that, yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. But this also makes it clear that, like, this isn't just one country's problem to solve.
Yep.
This is global.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's not just about building those algorithms for PQC. It's bigger than that.
Okay.
It's going to be a whole team effort, researchers, industry leaders, governments, everyone to make sure these systems actually work.
Wow, it's a huge task.
Yeah, the stakes are high.
So it's like a race against time.
Definitely.
To build these defenses before the quantum computers, like, really show up.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Kind of scary, but kind of exciting too, right?
I agree there's this sense of urgency.
Yeah.
But there are also so many brilliant people working on solutions, which is great.
That's good. So are we making progress?
Oh, absolutely. Like, for example, NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology,
Okay.
they just finalized this set of quantum-resistant encryption algorithms, so that's big.
So we have these algorithms. How do we get them out into the real world so people actually use them?
That's the key question.
Right.
Building the algorithms, that's just step one. We got to make sure they're integrated into everything, all the systems,
Yeah.
and that people actually adopt them. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like having this amazing super secure lock and no one knows how to use it.
Exactly.
So awareness is key.
Huge.
Okay. Well, that's where conversations like this come in, right?
Definitely.
Got to get people talking about this threat and how we can fix it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we've covered a lot of ground, but my brain's still like buzzing with questions. Like, how close are we really to this quantum apocalypse?
Right.
What can people like me actually do to prepare?
Great questions. Those are great questions.
Right.
And we're going to dig into those more as we go deeper into this article.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, folks. This deep dive is just getting started.
So you asked about how close we are to this quantum apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is this happening tomorrow? Or are we talking years, centuries?
It's tricky. It's like predicting the weather.
Okay.
We know there's a storm coming.
Right.
But it's hard to say exactly when or where it'll hit.
Okay, that's unsettling, but are there like any signs, any like early warning signals we can look out for?
Yeah, definitely. One of the big ones is something called quantum supremacy.
Quantum supremacy. Okay, that sounds pretty ominous.
It does, right?
What does it mean?
Basically, it's the point where a quantum computer can solve a problem that's like impossible for even the most powerful like regular computer.
Okay.
It's like David and Goliath. But David has this quantum slingshot, like nothing can stop him.
Wow. So once we hit quantum supremacy, that's it. Game over.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like the starting gun for the quantum era.
And then our current encryption is basically useless.
Well, yeah, it could become obsolete like overnight.
Okay, so we really need to have those quantum-resistant solutions ready before we hit quantum supremacy. Exactly. But what can people like me do to prepare? It all seems so complicated, out of our control.
Yeah, it's easy to feel that way.
Right.
But even small steps can help.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, stay informed. Like, check out the NCSA website, read those NIST publications.
Okay, so knowledge is power. Definitely. Don't bury your heads in the sand. Got it.
Right. And then think about your own digital footprint. What information do you have online?
Yeah, okay.
Are your passwords strong, unique? You using two-factor authentication?
Those are all good practices anyway, right?
Yeah, but they're even more important now in a quantum world.
Okay, so basically level up our cybersecurity game across the board.
Exactly.
So that's for individuals. What about like businesses, organizations?
Yeah, they got to be proactive too.
Okay.
Invest in those quantum-resistant solutions as they become available. Educate their employees. Have a plan in case there is a quantum attack,
So this isn't just a tech company problem or government problem.
No,
this affects everyone.
Everyone, from individuals to small businesses to like global corporation.
Right. Healthcare, finance, even things like power grids.
Exactly. All of those rely on secure data, secure communication.
Which could be vulnerable to these attacks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, so let's get specific here.
Right.
Paint me a picture. What would a real-world quantum attack look like?
Okay, imagine this. A hospital.
Okay.
Their patient records are hacked, but not just by some regular hacker. Someone with a quantum computer. Suddenly, all that sensitive information, medical histories, everything, it's all exposed.
That's terrifying. And it's not just healthcare, right? What about finance?
Imagine a bank, right? Transactions are disrupted, accounts are drained, the stock market plunges.
Wow.
The global economy takes a massive hit.
And it's not just about money, right?
No, not at all.
Like power grids, you mentioned those.
Yeah. Imagine someone shuts down the power grid with a quantum computer.
Oh, wow. That's a whole other level.
Ugh, blackouts, chaos, it could be really bad.
Okay, I'm starting to see the big picture here.
It's not just data theft or financial loss. It's about real-world disruption.
On a massive scale.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so what do we do? This all sounds pretty bleak.
It's a big challenge, but we can do it.
Oh?
We need researchers, industry leaders, policymakers, everyone working together.
So it's a team effort.
Yeah, to transition smoothly and safely into this quantum age.
You mentioned the NCSA research being done on this global platform. Why is that so important?
Well, these cyber threats, they don't care about borders, right?
Right.
The whole world's racing towards quantum computing, so we got to share knowledge, share what we learn, work together.
So we need like a united front, a global alliance.
Exactly. We need global standards for this post-quantum cryptography. So everyone's on the same page, same level of security.
It's like a global immune system.
Yeah, a good way to put it.
If one part of the world is weak, the whole system's vulnerable.
Exactly.
So are there any organizations already working on this, like this global collaboration?
Oh, yeah, there are. Like NISTs, for example. Okay. They're working with partners all over the world to develop these quantum-resistant algorithms.
That's good to hear.
And there are industry groups, academic groups, all focused on this.
Okay.
So there's definitely a growing awareness, which is great.
But what about, like, uneven development? Like, what if some countries are faster at adopting this stuff than others?
That's a good point. It's a real concern.
Yeah.
It could create weak spots in the system.
Right. Like, it's only as strong as its weakest link.
Exactly. If some parts of the world fall behind, they become easy targets.
And then that could affect everyone, right?
Like a virus spreading through a network.
So we really do need this global cooperation.
We do. We got to raise awareness, make sure everyone's on board.
So no one gets left behind.
Exactly. It's about securing our digital future together.
This is feeling like a real-life thriller, you know? Like a race against time, and the stakes are so high.
Yeah, it's definitely high stakes.
But it's also fascinating.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like all these amazing advances in science, they bring challenges, too.
Right, like two sides of the same coin.
Quantum computing could revolutionize so many things, but we got to be prepared for the risks.
Absolutely.
So where do we go from here? What's the next chapter in this whole quantum cybersecurity saga? It really does feel like we're at this crossroads.
Yeah.
So many amazing possibilities with quantum computing, but also like some really big, scary challenges.
For sure.
So how do we, like, as individuals, as a planet, how do we make sure we handle all of this responsibly and safely?
Well, the good news is we're not powerless.
Right.
There are things we can do to get ready for this quantum age.
Okay, let's talk action plan. What's the first step?
Awareness. Got to start there.
We've talked about that.
Making sure people understand what quantum computing even is.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
It's not just a topic for tech people anymore, is it?
Definitely not. Everyone needs to be aware of this.
Okay, so how do we get that message out there? It all seems so complex.
Education is key. We got to teach this stuff in schools, have public lectures, workshops.
Yeah.
Create content that makes it easy to understand, even fun.
Like documentaries, podcasts?
Exactly. Even games.
Oh, games. That's cool. Make it interactive?
Yeah, make it engaging for everyone.
Love it. Okay, education is step one. What's next?
We got to make sure quantum technology is used for good, not for bad stuff.
Right. Ethical guidelines.
Exactly. Transparency, collaboration.
Don't want a quantum arms race.
Exactly. We need to be having these conversations now.
Yeah, before it's too late.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got awareness, education, ethical development. That's a good start. But what about the practical stuff?
Right.
How do we actually protect ourselves from these quantum attacks?
So for individuals, we talked about good digital hygiene, right?
Strong passwords, two-factor, all that.
Exactly.
But for organizations, it's more than that.
Yeah, businesses need to start preparing for that switch to post-quantum cryptography.
Right, and PQC is still pretty new, right? How do they even get started with that?
Well, they can start taking inventory.
Okay.
Figure out which of their systems are most at risk. Start researching PQC solutions, see what works for them.
It's kind of like getting ready for Y2K, but for the quantum age.
That's a good way to put it. It's about being prepared, not panicking.
Right, exactly. Knowledge is power.
It is.
The more we understand all this, the better we can handle it.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been, honestly, pretty mind-blowing.
It's a wild topic.
It is. Quantum computing is going to change everything.
It really is.
And we got to be ready for it.
We do.
So any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is this quantum revolution is happening now.
This is not sci-fi anymore.
It's real, it's happening, and it comes with both amazing potential.
Yeah, and huge risks.
Exactly. So we got to be proactive, start preparing now.
Individually and as a global community.
Exactly.
And ultimately, the future of all this is up to us.
It is. It's our responsibility.
To use this technology for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, well, that's a wrap for this deep dive into the world of quantum computing and cybersecurity.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's been great having you. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in.
Stay curious.
Stay engaged, and let's build that secure quantum future together.